So today I'm talking about soul fuel. And when I say soul fuel, I mean the things that make us feel awesome. We have a term on the West Coast, and I think folks say it elsewhere too, but we say in flow, when everything just feels like super synergistic, and you're at the right place at the right time with the right people doing things that make you feel good. And I think when we go down our career paths and become adults, we sort of forget those things that made us really happy. We forget what it was like to commit to something with reckless abandon without knowing what the outcome was going to be. And so that's what this image and this yogurt is meant to represent here with me, is commitment. So full disclosure, I've always been a dreamer, and I've often done things a little unconventionally. What I love about this picture, and my mother, so when I received the Forbes 30 Under 30 nomination and award this year a couple weeks ago, thank you, my mother texted me this right away, and she said, "Never forget where you came from." And I thought it was awesome because it represents everything that I am in a sense, which is clumsy, a little messy, but wholeheartedly and unabashedly passionate and committed to everything that I'm doing. So whether it's dairy or innovation, I'm there and I'm all in. The other image of me with that recorder was pretty amazing, and my mom sent that to me when I booked my first international speaking gig, and she said, "You've been doing this for a very long time. This isn't your first." And it was so sweet because, you forget these things happen. And but what I really love about this image on the left is it shows that I've been passionate about this for a long time. For a few years, we'll put it that way, for a couple decades. And when I look at these things, it doesn't surprise me that I'm standing right here. So I'm curious, anyone have any favorite children photos or scenarios or comical memories they have from this time in life? Oh yeah, I saw your smirk a second ago. What is it? Let's hear it. Oh yeah. Love it. You were the chiffon. I love it. And you said it was orange, right? You're wearing some orange today, so I see that's still a favorite color of yours. It's funny how these things work out. We forget to play, we forget to remember what it felt like to explore, to be curious, to create, what it was like to be a kid. And I think when we're struggling in life or we're at an impasse, that's the moment to look back in and say, whoa, what would 5-year-old Sav have said about this? What would 12-year-old Sav have done? How would we approach this problem? Because we overcomplicate everything in our heads. And this is one of the reasons I don't like goals, actually. I think goals and KPIs are the bane of corporate existence, quite frankly, when you forecast something a year out and have no idea if that's going to actually benefit your community. It's just a number you're supposed to hit that might hopefully give you a raise. You're really limiting your quote. How many people have had a goal? How many people have not achieved that goal? That's what I thought. So the thing about goals is they're optional. Everybody thinks they're important, but they're actually quite optional. You can achieve your goal or not achieve your goal. It may impact you one way or another, negatively or positively, but it's optional. Now, how many of you decided to get up and get in the car and come here today? That wasn't optional. You decided to do it, and you did it. So I want to convince you to make decisions today instead of setting goals. So if we think about, can we see this or do I need to go bigger? Time and ambition, I will say it out loud, I won't make you try and read it. So when we think about a goal, it's usually something like this. And we put our effort into it, pretty linear, right? Now, what about dreams? They're out here. You're actually driving in the direction of your dreams, hypothetically, when you aim for a goal, but they're not always aligned. This might be a fiscal goal, this might be a professional goal, a superficial goal, and this might not actually get you in the same direction as going over here. So, forget goals. Let's kill those today, and let's make decisions. How do we make decisions? Well, there's three things I think that really influence your decision-making capabilities, and those are your values, your motivations, and your dreams. I'm going to talk a lot about dreams today, but it's my birthday, and I'll talk about dreams if I want to. So, what are values? What do you value? Tell me something what matters to you above all? Family, relationships, keep going. What else? Coffee, love it. Okay, so values, all of those things, I think even coffee, comes from the heart. Things that we value are the things that we can't have a life without. These are the fundamental ethics. This is your ethical code, this is your moral compass, all that stuff. I value loyalty, I value respect. We also have, this pen is just not gonna fucking cut it. There we go. We have motivations. Motivations I like to see as the things you see but don't necessarily feel in your heart that are driving you. So what's the periphery type of things that motivate you? Why do you go to work in the morning? Exactly. Anything else? What else motivates you? It's got to be more than money. Let's hope there's a little bit more than money. Oh, yeah. How about matter? I like that. And then we have dreams. Everyone in here have a dream? Anyone want to share their dream? Okay, we don't have to share dreams. That's not a big deal. No crutches is a great dream, one hopefully we can achieve. I feel like that's a path we can go in. So at this intersection of values, motivation, and dreams are decisions. And decisions are the most important thing you make in your life. I've made a decision last week to quit my job, and I think it might be the best decision I've ever made in my entire life, which is pretty fantastic. So I really encourage you, if you're on that track, to do it. So this whole ecosystem, to me, is what soul fuel is. And this is the cycle of momentum that exists when you're doing things that make you and the others in your life feel fucking awesome. It's when everything is feeling great. I am curious, does anyone have something that's holding them back today? Does anyone have a dream they haven't started going in the direction of? You can just raise your hand if you don't want to reveal. Can I ask, what's stopping you? Anyone can throw that out. What stops you from going after these things? What stops you from always feeling great every single day? Yes, money can definitely be a barrier. I like that. We should all just be independently wealthy, make everything better. Yes. That's a good one. And how do we overcome these things? What do you do when you face these things? Does anyone have any cool strategies they want to share with us today? No, we all just kind of sit and relish in them. So every single person is blocked by these same things. Even people that are independently wealthy are still afraid, or they might not have time, or they might not have the momentum or the support from anybody else. Somebody who, there is something that holds every single person back. And what I want to tell you to do today is to kick that down, to punch that monster in the face, to take a shot of tequila, walk out the door, guns blazing, and grab life by the balls, and go forth and do. Because you've only got one chance. You've only got one opportunity to do this right. And what do you want your legacy to be? What do you want your kids to say about you when they're showing their baby pictures in front of a wonderful group of people on their birthday in Tampa? When you make a decision, you bridge the gap between the dreams, as I like to call them, the galactic butterflies in our universe, and your life here on Earth. Things become tangible the moment you decide to do them. If you have a goal, I could do it, I might not do it. Once you make a decision, every single thing you're doing, no matter how small, is a step in the right direction of that. Kind of like goals, I'm not really into milestones. I think, again, they're very KPI-driven, very data-driven. Oh, we hit this thing, we did this thing, now we're supposed to celebrate it? Nah. Same with benchmarks. I believe in bench stones. I think bench stones are moments that indicate significant progress, but feel awesome. And a bench stone could be when someone in your community surrounding your business or a customer just comes up and says, I think you're the best in the entire world, you made me feel good, and you've changed my life. You didn't have that written down on a list of things you wanted to achieve for a year. It wasn't a goal to change somebody's life. Maybe it was. If it was, that's pretty cool and philanthropic of you. But it was a moment that felt good, and you should celebrate that. Life has a lot of moments that we downplay. We get humble, we get modest. Oh, well, there's still so much work to do, especially as entrepreneurs. There's no finish line. There's never going to be a day when you're like, whoa, my work's done, cool. Now, when you run your own show, you get up every single day driving and hungry and always thinking about one step ahead and 1,000 steps ahead, all at the exact same time. And when you decide to celebrate a moment and pause, it lets you reflect. Life doesn't have enough champagne moments. When was the last time you patted yourself on the back? Truly. Anyone? Celebrate yourself? It's probably been a little while. Let's just take a moment right now. You are badass. You are powerful, you are beautiful, you are creative. You can handle whatever you are trying to do in your life right now. I guarantee it. And I also guarantee that the only thing truly holding you back, it's not this. It's this. Don't let this stop this. That's my birthday request for you today. Do not let your head get in the way of your heart. We've had such a cool conference this time. It's great to be back here in Tampa. And having a theme around inspiration, I think, has been really powerful. A lot of the speakers have talked along this theme of their own inspiration and what brought us here and where we're going. And I think that this entire experience, this year in particular, has really been about that. It's about doing what feeds your soul, what feeds your mind, what feeds your curiosity. It's about making a decision to invest in your personal education, in your personal motivation, and thus creating a space and lifestyle and family situation that makes you feel awesome. When you eliminate these things and you venture, whether that's on your own or just creating something new or a new space within your life for something awesome, whatever that might be, you allow for magic to happen. When you create space, things you never expected will occur. When I quit my job, I had enough money to live for 60 days. I have lived in my car before, so I knew that, well, worst case scenario, I can live in my car again. This time around, I do have a bigger car. I have an SUV. I drive a Ford Escape instead of a Volvo, which I had actually at one point converted the trunk of my Volvo into a dresser when I was finishing school and launching my social media agency back in 2008. When you've lived in your car, you know you can always do it again, and you're not afraid of it anymore. And that's the nice thing about the scary things that happen in your life. If you've had something terrible that happened and you sort of run through that worst case scenario, if you've ever actually been in that worst case scenario, it's not scary anymore. Car's actually pretty cool. You are actually proper vagabond. People talk about nomading. Nothing like nomading than living in your car. So when I quit my job, I thought, you know what? I pay my rent month to month, and worst case scenario, I'll live in my car, I'll go on a trip, I'll hang out for a little bit, whatever. And I signed 3 clients yesterday, just coming down and being open. And I will end up making more this month than I did last quarter. And it's because I created the space. I didn't have any of this set up, and I'm not like advertising and pumping things out. It's literally just putting the energy out there that I wanted to help people, products, and brands that I love grow. It's literally all I told anyone. I didn't tell them what my company was called, didn't tell them where I was going. I just said, you know what? I'm done working for people and companies I don't care about. I want to only represent the people that I believe in and the things I believe the world needs. And from that, I will see what happens. And it's happening. And it's happening for me real time here in Tampa. And I'm not standing up here to brag. That's the opposite of what I'm doing. I'm trying to stand up here and tell you it can happen, and it can happen fast, and it can happen when you least expect it, and it'll change your life. So what are you waiting for? Go forth and do. Yeah. So does anyone want to talk about any decisions? Have any questions? I can continue to kind of give you these glorious analogies if you want. Yeah. Yeah. I think that's, uncertain. Fear of the unknown is a huge can of worms for a lot of different things. But I think that's a great thing to talk about. So how do we decide what our soul fuel is? How do you go down that path? And for me, I legitimately, kind of going back to the drawing board, one of the things I think that we don't do enough as humans, especially as Americans, we work so much once we start working, we don't stop to think. You don't give yourself a second to actually strategize your life. Maybe you're doing strategy for your business, but have you actually mapped out what you might like to do for yourself? Probably not in a really long time. We're really bad at that in America, and it's one of those things that really sucks. And employers won't work on it with you half the time because they're afraid if they do and you realize you don't belong there, you'll leave. And they don't want to do that, and that's just a really bad cyclical loop of fear. So you want to map yourself right now? You want to be the example? You feel comfortable doing that? Okay. Okay. Does anyone want to figure out the... Yeah, oh yeah. All right, love it. What's your name? Hi, Amy. So Amy is going to be our guinea pig for this. So Amy, what are your values? What would you say is your personal code of ethics? Great. That's perfect. You're a teacher. That's wonderful. Okay. And so what motivates you? What motivates you to go mentor? What is the driving force in your mind? Why does that feel good? Ooh. Oh, I like that. Awesome. What did you want to be when you grew up, when you were 5? Ooh. And what do you do now? Wow, that is an interesting pivot. That's cool. Is there something in your life you wish you were doing right now? Or is there something you're craving to start doing? Oh, cool, so you know what your soul fuel is. Oh, I love it. So what is the path? Share with us. Mm-hmm. Oh, nice. So it was surrounding yourself with a different network of people you could learn from, essentially. That is awesome. So I classify education as a decision, and your network is a decision. It's something you must actively seek. I won't hire someone if they don't have a mentor. If you're not actively investing in your own enrichment, I'm not interested in investing in your enrichment either. That's got to be a two-way street. So that's so cool. So just because, just so it's not just me talking about my personal life experiences, what was the pivot? At what point did you realize, so decisions are also, in my mind, the point of no return. When you make a decision, there's no, I'm not going to do it. You are doing it because you know no other way of doing but that. And that is sort of law for yourself at that point. So when did you make the decision? Because I suspect you did if you actually changed a group of humans in your life. What made you make that decision? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Nice. You just wanted to learn. How many people just want to learn something new? Let's all learn a new thing today. Let's make that a goal. You want to, actually, I'll teach you something right now. You want to know something terrifying? You think 70% of the same thoughts you did yesterday every day. Every day, 7 out of the 10 things running through your mind are the same thing, the exact same thing, which this actually scares the living shit out of me. Because we wonder why we're getting Alzheimer's, we got to do crossword puzzles and drink a ton of coffee just to keep our minds lucid. It's because we're not thinking about anything different. It's because we wake up and we get in the program and we got to do it, and it's really kind of sad when you put it into that light. I don't want to spend 70% of my life stagnant. That's such a sad thing. So today, let's all think about 10 new things. Yeah. Yeah. Yes. I love that attitude. Well, you can find something to learn about anything, right? I mean, I come down here to Tampa. One of the reasons I love y'all is everyone is eager to teach us something. We come to visit, and somebody's going to tell us about the cigar factories or the history or the city or the pirates, or try and get us to come back and stand up paddleboard and hang out. And it's just there's such a desire to educate here. It's actually kind of sweet. Maybe you guys are more in the 65%, 35% same thoughts because your curiosity is pretty high. On that note, I have one birthday request. Don't hold back anymore. Truly. Go forth and make the decisions that feed your soul and live the life of your dreams, because you are the only person that can make that happen. And I know each and every person in this room can do it. Thank you very much.